The BBC has confirmed that the Novocherkassk was attacked. One of Russia's major navy ships has been seriously damaged by drones from Ukraine. A large landing ship, it's been described as destroyed in an air attack, and Ukraine's force said that this happened this morning on Tuesday. Russia's Ministry of Defense have confirmed that there was a Ukrainian attack. The ministry said the ship was damaged after Ukraine used guided missiles launched by aircraft against the vessel in the Crimean port of Feodosia. So it's not clear whether it was drones or missiles. One person apparently was killed, 4 were injured in the attack. The Moscow installed governor of Crimea, Sergei Aksyonov, has said, adding that 6 buildings were also damaged, their residents evacuated. It means that Ukraine's range has increased significantly, and that the Russian fleet stationed in the Black Sea is probably no longer safe. The Ukrainian commander, Mykola Oleshchuk, has put out a video of an explosion on the Feodosia, on the ship and on the naval base, and said the fleet in Russia is getting smaller and smaller thanks to the Air Force pilots and everyone involved in the filigree work. Mr. Zelenskyy said, "I'm grateful to our Air Force for the impressive replenishment of the Russian underwater Black Sea fleet with another vessel. The occupiers will not have a single peaceful place in Ukraine." And it's quite clear that although Ukraine has not made a breakthrough to the east of the occupied region, it is making a serious punch through into the Black Sea around Odessa and the edge of the Crimean Peninsula. Whenever either Ukraine or Russia makes advances, they make a big deal about it. Putin has now been briefed, apparently, or the dead body of Putin has been briefed, or one of his doppelgangers has been briefed, and Sergei Shoigu apparently has given a detailed report to Vladimir Vladimirovich about the Feodosia attack, and Sergei Markov, one of the Kremlin individuals, has said on Telegram that Russia will not be releasing detailed information about the attack because it's in the middle of a war, but he said Russia needed to protect its assets in Crimea, which of course is territory that Moscow took in from Ukraine in 2014. It is clear that Crimea's air defence systems must be strengthened. That's the Russian defence systems. And it's clear that Ukraine needs to be deprived of the opportunity to hit Russia. Well, of course, it's not hitting Russia. It's hitting Ukrainian territory, which was seized from Ukraine by Russia. Though, I remember very clearly when Russia seized Ukraine, how quickly the maps across Russia, which dominate official buildings and university buildings, were changed. And there was a very big relief map outside the rector's office in my university. And within a day or two, it had been repainted, and the territory of Crimea had been added to the image of Russian territory. It was I think it was coloured blue. I don't remember that detail very clearly. In recent days, Moscow has claimed to have taken control of some of the eastern territory, though Kyiv has denied it. Marinka, particularly, and of course this latest attack in the Black Sea follows the sinking of the Mskva by Ukraine earlier on in the year. You remember, I think that was in April, the Mskva ship, named in honor of the Russian capital, the pride of Russia's Black Sea fleet, sank because of a fire which had presumably been started by Ukrainian missiles. It had seen service in Georgia, Syria, Ukraine, and it had done peacetime research with the United States. And Moscow said it was sunk in a storm as it was being towed to port, and it claimed that there was a munitions misfiring inside, which triggered a fire and forced the crew to evacuate. The Ukrainians said that it had been struck with a Neptune cruise missile, and the US, of course, was evasive. It said it was unable to confirm Ukraine's claims, but it was somewhere off the port of Odessa at the time of the fire, and it seriously dented Russia's naval pride and Russia's claims to be able to protect itself and its own fleet. This was a boat which had been previously called a carrier killer. It was launched from the Mykolaiv shipyard in Ukraine, so it was really part of Ukraine, but it was then part of the Soviet Union in 1979. So in a way, Ukraine was just simply claiming one of its own, commissioned in 1982, and I think it had a crew of about 500 sailors, 62 officers, and it was the flagship of the Soviet fleet in the Black Sea. It was a significant victory, really, for Ukraine. And this is probably another one. This is probably another.